All right, we're going to call this regular council meeting to order Monday, December 1st, 2025, 5:01 p.m. Request all cell phones turn them down or off. Get a roll call, please.
Commissioner Edelman?
Here.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Here.
Commissioner Morris?
Here.
Commissioner Prentice?
Here.
Mayor?
Stand, take your hats off. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing, please.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you and praise you for this day. And Lord, with the weather, we just ask that you would protect all the drivers as they drive home tonight. And be with the street department as they clean the streets, Lord. And we just ask for your wisdom tonight and all the decisions that need to be made that will affect the future of this city. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, John. Okay. Get approval of agenda. Get a motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comment. Stan, give your name.
Randy Peterson. We had a hell of a snowstorm here just this weekend, and I want to say, I think the city of South Beloit did really good on plowing the streets. I personally saw Steve about 3 different times in different areas of the city plowing when it was pretty crappy out, and then the next day still going. So I think we ought to give a tip of the hat to the city department. They did a really nice job.
Yeah, you're right there. They done an excellent job, and I know I've seen them. They were out there 12 hours straight. Took a little break and was out another 12 hours straight. So did an excellent job. Thank you. We'll tell Steve when we see him. I seen him when I come in. He was out cleaning the walks off here. Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes of the regular, we're going to lay that over. We get a motion to lay over the minutes of the regular council meeting on November 17, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lay it over. Report of the officers, finance, approval of the claims to be paid November 15th through the 28th, 2025 for the amount of
$767,388.44. Want to just make note of that. 177,000, basically 178,000 of that is final payment out for the Garden Hotel demolition, and then there is 172,000 out for new parking lot on the Donner Drive location. Those are the 2 most notable items out this month. So that's the last deal in the Garden Hotel? Yep.
We're finally done, and we won the case too. That's about that. All right. Need certificates? I thought we got one. All right.
Yes. Commissioner Heatherington? Yes. Commissioner Morris? Yes. Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. Attorney's report.
No report this evening.
No report. City administrator report. Staff quarterly report.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I just have a couple of quick things. Randy, I will reiterate those comments to Steve. Thank you so much for saying that. I couldn't agree more. It's a full team effort when we have to do a full plow like that. It requires at least a couple of guys from wastewater to step into. We're a small city, but if we all pitch in, that crew can usually do a pretty great job. So they were out from 6A to 6P Saturday, and then went home for a few hours, came back in Sunday at 3 a.m., stayed until 3P, and now they're on today, and they'll probably be here till about 9. So it has been a really long couple of days for that crew. I just wanted to give them a little shout out. Appreciate that. I also wanted to mention that you will see in the bills over the next couple of weeks the 2 one-off projects that we sort of separated. We did move forward with White Oaks and Smith Lane. Those will come in as a bundled package, but those are the ones that I did a call around on, and all 5 commissioners and mayor approved. The one that we pulled out of that was the Forest Park. What I plan to do is bring all 3 of those to the December 15th meeting to make a determination on whether or not we want to move forward with that Forest Park repair. So we did approve 2. They're both already done. And then we pulled that other one out, so you'll see all 3 of those for retro approval, and then the Forest Park decision at the December 15th meeting. So I just want to remind you guys of that. And then in terms of emergency repairs, I always think it's a good idea when things hit the bills that are just kind of large amounts late in the year especially, we try to give them a more thorough review, a more thorough explanation explanation. In the coming set of bills, you're also going to see an emergency repair that was done on Ranger Drive. There's a lot of truck traffic that goes into the road Ranger just off of Willowbrook, and it's in the middle of the road. There are large units that pull in and out of that stretch near that truck stop, and so Jeff did initiate last week an emergency repair to get that manhole taken care of. I think it was in the ballpark of
5 to 6, I believe.
5, 6, something like that. So we did green light that. You guys will get a retro approval for that. And then also our second ambulance that we've been battling, the 2 ambulances, we had the $11,000 bill or just under that come in from Gordy Boucher. That is the last step before replacing the engine. So we're hoping to not have to do that. We're hoping to get our new engine in before we would put our second ambulance into a new engine, but you do have a almost $11,000 repair coming to that backup ambulance. So, our emergency money being spent deserves a little bit more explanation late in the year. And then to end on a good note, just wanted to remind everyone that our annual tree lighting, this will be our 5th annual tree lighting, will be taking place on Friday. It starts at 4:30. The tree lighting happens at 5 o'clock and it's done by 6. Our on-duty crew from police and fire will both be present, and the fire department will take care of warming the hot chocolate for everyone. So it's short, it's quick, it's a beautiful tree. We have a new sponsor for our tree this year. Their name is The Barn in Rockton. It's kind of a wedding venue, it's beautiful. But we've got a really nice thank you ornament that we ordered them that will hang on the tree instead of a yard sign like we used to do for Dave Palmer. Anyway, it's beautiful. Beautiful tree, beautiful ornaments. Please come. Hour and a half.
I'm out of town on Friday.
One note on our CDLs. When Steve took over with the CDLs and getting all of our drivers qualified, it pays dividends on days like it was Saturday where, with that much snow on that. So it's, and rather than taking 6 weeks to a month or to 3 months or so to get a CDL, Steve could take his men and take care of them and study, so that pays big dividends to us right now.
Yeah, you're right, Mayor, and I failed to mention that Commissioner Hedrington also called Steve during the middle of the snowstorm at some point to kind of check in on them. I know that Steve appreciated that, so thank you for doing that. And then also, they did have one person from wastewater who does not yet have their CDL, but they invited him to come in and ride around just for a few hours to kind of see the exposure, see what it's like to follow your stick on the end of your plow or whatever they stare at. But yeah, it's things like that. In-house CDL training is helpful.
You next?
Sean is next with the quarterly report. Thanks, Randy.
So it's my quarterly report, the community development quarterly report for August through October. New development and construction, the Manchester Trails construction is wrapping up. They submitted their last 5 new builds for 5 duplexes. And then also, it's not on here, but I did want to mention that the Yellowstone development, those have all but wrapped up now also. So there's been quite a bit of activity in those 2 areas over the summertime, the last 3 months. New business, the Sound of Terror Haunted House had its first year. They did really well. VGL Liquidation Store, this is located in the 1200 block of Sherland Avenue. Other projects, I have regularly attended the monthly Regional Economic Development Partner Meeting, Economic Roundtable with Governor Pritzker's staff, the EOC meeting in Rockford. Sonia and I visited East Peoria for a site visit, attended South Beloit Gateway parcel presentation that was held out at Hidden Creek, attended Northern Illinois Conference of Governments meeting, met with the Illinois American Water regarding permitting process, kind of trying to streamline the excavation permitting and going through just some areas of concern that the city had, and then heard their questions also. Attended the Region 1 planning meetings. I did recently just wrap up a census training. It's a Census 101 training with the U.S. Census Bureau. This touched on the 10-year census that will be coming up, and then I will also be attending a census training to dive more into the census for the city, for the mapping and stuff like that, so. And then Hidden Creek, the next development phase of the solar field in tiny homes is underway. Garden Hotel, the new chapter, they did lose the ability to appeal through the Illinois Supreme Court, so that is completed. 135 South 8th, I know you guys have heard that address multiple times over the last few years. This was a code case that did just recently sell. A developer has purchased the property, and we look to have that back on the tax rolls. This property has spent multiple years in the code process. We had administrative hearings, an administrative search warrant. This is a property that was occupied both upper and lower. There were children in the home, and it had no plumbing. This has been going on for a very long time, so I'm glad to see that there's a developer in that home, or getting ready to develop that home. For the PZC, the Planning and Zoning Commission, we have been holding regular meetings. We are still on track to have the new zoning map project published in March of 2026 for our annual compliance. Miscellaneous permits that I have worked on over the last 3 months. The permitting review use of the for the permitting review used large quantities of time. These were talking about like your accessory structures, your driveways, different things like that. That was a big bulk of the time through the summer. That also at times uses engineering's time and legal's time. That has dwindled down now towards the end of summer to 10 to 20 hours a week. And then this year we saw a humongous increase in fiber. So that took up a considerable amount of time. We had, I think there were 3 or 4 fiber companies that approached the city, and when they come in, they came citywide. So they were both doing residential and commercial properties, targeting those areas. So that just takes a real large amount of time. Pre-annexations, we had the pre-annexation amendment for the Bluff City. That included the 9 parcels, 155 plus acres, and then most recently we had Jack's Tire. For municipal code enforcement, they are working approximately 40 hours a week, averaging about 7 to 10 cases that go to administrative hearing each month. We have been following up on daily complaints that are coming in of landlords and tenants that are making alterations to their homes, allowing occupants to stay in the basements, garages, and just doing remodeling without permits. This seems to be on an uptick from what we have seen over the past few years, probably due to the housing shortages that we're seeing everywhere. That is speaking for a large quantity of that. Also, we're working on this. Having municipal code here has allowed me to free up my time for the annexations, the permitting, and then now working on open FDOs. So the FDOs are the findings, decisions, and orders. When a code case goes to administrative hearing and they're assessed fines, they have an allowance of 35 days to get those fines corrected, those violations corrected, and pay the costs and fines. We have an abundance of cases over the last few years that have sat and they haven't progressed to the next step because I haven't had the time available to be able to go back and research and go through and see where we're at on those cases. Just in the last 2 weeks alone, since the permitting process has slowed down, we're going over, we've got 8 cases that should be on the December administrative hearing to affirm those judgments and move forward for a memorandum of judgment and then take those to the next step and hopefully those FDOs. And that's all I have for my...
You said that you attended the census. You know, that's so important because that a lot of our state money is based on your census. So that's to get that right is so important.
And we've found over the last year that our mapping, where showing where properties have been annexed into the city, years prior, they're not showing up. So we have to go back and dig out all of the paperwork to show that the ordinances where it passed to annex it in, all of that stuff, that all has to be included in the census. That's something that I've never done before. I inherited that when Jessica left, so I've been kind of trying to teach myself, and that has not been fruitful. So having this census training, it is free, and they work one-on-one with me, and so it's been very helpful. I've been very pleased with that.
I'm guessing, so the contract says that we're getting ready to talk about says municipal code enforcement is 10 hours a week. You said 40 hours a week. Did you maybe mean a month? Or have they been working more recently?
They have. So
Okay.
originally speaking, it was 10 hours. They were set for 10 hours a week because we had the part-time person as well, with the ability to bump the hours up if needed at municipal code. Over the course of, and it's been in a couple of my other reports, but over the course when it gets a little bit busier, and now since we do not have a part-time person, we have built them into, when it's really, really busy, we're using them at 40 hours a week, and then in the winter time, there's not going to be that bulk, so they'll scale back on their hours during the winter time.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to new business. Discuss and approve the motion items. Discuss approve ordinance 2886, approving a special use permit to allow for auto-related uses in the commercial retail zoning district for 518 Sherland Avenue, South Beloit, Illinois. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, that's,
Okay. This is for the fast fuel up on Sherland Avenue. It recently sold. They had to do a new business license because the LLC, it was a new purchaser, sorry. So they went through the special use permit process because in the new zoning code, anything dealing with an automobile use has to have a special use.
pretty much it.
Yep.
Tracy, please.
Mr. Edelman?
Yes.
Mr. Hebrington?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve ordinance 2887, approving a special use permit to allow auto-related uses in commercial traffic zoning district, 15766 Manchester Road, South Beloit, Illinois. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, this is the same for out there on Manchester. And that's going to be the same owner, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They do have separate, they do have two different LLC, and one's an LLC, one's an incorporation. They're exactly the same owners, but it's
Same
exactly the
use.
same process.
Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Mr. Hebrington?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Prentice? Mr. Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. Discuss approve ordinance 2888, approving a special use permit to allow for auto-related uses in commercial retail zoning district, 810 Blackhawk Boulevard, South Beloit, Illinois. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Okay, this is for the,
Yep, this is for the 810 Blackhawk for the mobile. This is exactly the same thing, change in the LLC. They had to redo the paperwork, so
Yep.
they went through the exact same process.
husband changed it to the wife's name.
The mother was the...
Oh, the mother?
It
Oh,
was the
okay.
mother and that went to the daughter-in-law.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right, anybody else? Tracy, please.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Prentice?
Yes.
Mr. Edelman?
Yes.
Mr. Hebrington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve ordinance 2889, amended chapter 6 alcoholic beverages. Article 3, retail license, section 6-82 of the City of South Beloit Code and Ordinance regarding the number of Class G license. Motion.
So moved. Second.
So Tracy, this is what you were
This is
alluding
the one,
to.
yep, to make them compliant.
That's so that, yeah, because, all right. Yeah, we discussed that last week. Tracy.
Mr. Prentice?
Yes.
Mr. Edelman?
Yes.
Mr. Hebrington? Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes, discuss approve ordinance 2890, authorize the issuance of a Class G convenience fuel store gaming retail liquor license for Sharif II Inc. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, this is what we just passed for the, out there in I-90 there. Huh? Yep. Okay, anybody else? Tracy?
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington? Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve ordinance 2892, adopting the 2025 tax levy. Motion, please.
No.
No,
Just skip to mine now.
We need 2891.
Oh, I crossed it out already. Should discuss approve ordinance 2891, adopting the 2026 budget. Motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, that's what we've been working on for 7 weeks. And we've discussed that more than once. Anybody else?
I think it's important to point out the increased budget for the fire department from this past year to this year. It's at around $2 million. Something I think positive to point out in that fact is that we aren't planning on doing a tax levy increase. I think it's an option that was on the table. As I've stated, I know in meetings with concerned citizens that money wasn't an issue. I think the fact that we're not going to be implementing a higher tax levy points to that fact. So I'm proud that we all, the department has worked hard on this budget. Don, Kylie, everybody in the finance department, Sonia, great job on putting this all together, working with the department heads to get this all done. So thank you.
We budgeted for the fire department what we think it should cost, not the actual cost. Because we haven't got a chief yet. We haven't decided, or we and the chief hasn't decided on what they're gonna have for, if they're gonna be full-time, part-time on call, or whatever, or a mixture thereof. So, all right, Tracy, please.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve ordinance 2892, adopting the 2025 tax levy. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Who got that, Don?
Sure.
Yeah, I think we discussed this back when we were doing the estimated revenues. And this is the amount that we're allowed to do without doing the truth in taxation and stuff.
Okay, this is something that the 1 year we didn't do it, and it cost us,
Right.
so we're doing it now. Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve resolution 6653, approving service contract with municipal code enforcement. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
We got this.
I can take this one and Sean can clean it up if I need it cleaned up. I think last year the average number that we used was 10 hours a week because we knew they weren't going to start until March. We knew the summer was going to be busier and then we knew it was going to slow down. Whatever that was, the budgeted number is not 40 hours a week for 2026. I think it's something like 25 or 30, knowing that the first couple months of the year is slower, the last few months of the year it'd be a little slower, but it's that 8 months in the middle where code enforcement is really, ramped up. So we do have an increase in this, and I also know that we missed the 2025 increase. So I can't remember exactly when we signed the agreement with them. I think it was October of 24. They did not start working until about March of 25. January 1 is typically when they have an increase in place, but they honored that October price that they had quoted us. So the agreement that you have has now been thoroughly reviewed by our legal staff, had a couple of tweaks, things that we thought weren't right between the states, some Wisconsin language in there that Laura helped us get cleaned up just a little bit further, and it also has an increase in there for their 2025 or their 2026.
A lot of our
We love
code.
them. It's consistent. It is allowing Shauna to do the job that we hired her to do 4 years ago, which has been amazing. She is finally able to evolve and grow into a community development director because she is not doing code enforcement.
on our code enforcement takes so much time with municipal court and every other thing takes a lot of time out of their hourly.
And it takes a lot of Shauna's time and our legal staff's time
Yeah.
to train someone, and then it's a very difficult job that not everyone can do. And then every time you lose somebody, you're at the mercy of months again of trying to pick up where they left off, train the next person. So they really have been amazing to work with. So we're looking forward to giving them a little bit more leash in 2026.
I think since I've been here, we went through about 12.
Not since we've had municipal code, we've only been through one.
Yeah. But it's the way it is. Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson? Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve resolution 6654, approving the professional service agreement proposal from Fairgram regarding this regional site readiness program grant application to the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development, DCEO. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Mayor, I can take this one again,
Okay.
and Brandon can clean up if I miss anything. We have found the grant that we have kind of been waiting for to make upgrades to the stretch of Willowbrook between 75 and the state line. That's what we're going after. We're really honing in on that section of the improvements. We know that Willowbrook could use improvements all the way to Prairie Hill, but to be honest, development should drive those improvements. So if a tenant of an 80-acre parcel should develop on Willowbrook, they should help us, establish a truck route and get that route improved. So what we are honing in on right now is hopefully what will better serve the industrial businesses to the west, across the road from Flying J, but then also we want to do everything in our power that we can to keep traffic coming off of exit 1 and funnel them into downtown Beloit, into the casino, into wherever.
Yeah, so I'll just add a couple nuggets there. So this grant award is a minimum award of $500,000, maximum award of $5 million. There is a 20% match as part of this. So as part of this grant scope, obviously we will be doing some preliminary design work, cost estimating to determine what those overall costs are. Then we will work with the city staff to obviously ensure that the city has the matching funds available at the time that we apply. There is no deadline for this grant application either, which is kind of uncommon. It's a rolling grant. So Fairgram is planning to, if it were approved tonight, to get on that right of way and have our application submitted pending the city's approval before the end of the year, so December 31st. So we want to hit this hot and heavy, get in front of DCEO and get us on the list before some of the others come out. The grant did just release a few weeks ago, as far as their notice of funding opportunity to remind everybody, so we're planning to hit that part.
Okay,
I
thank you.
will also add that I can feel Don's uneasiness, and it's because we did not budget 20% of this. One, because we don't have a real good guess at what 20% would look like, and two, we don't think we'll be spending much money in 2026. This will get budgeted 20% in 2027's budget, should we get the grant.
We would develop a
Don't worry,
timeline
Don.
as part of
I
this
promise
grant.
I'll tell you. We just didn't have a good enough guess. We didn't want to guess on top of a guess.
Okay.
Don gets nervous when I go after grants, and he doesn't know exactly how much money I'm going after.
Tracy, please.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, now we're gonna retire to executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, and dismal specific employees, specific volunteers, the public body, legal counsel, public body, including the hearing testimony, a complaint lodged by an employee or volunteer, body against the legal counsel, public body determine the validity of provided by 5 ILCX 120/2C1 of the Illinois Open Meeting Act. Get a motion to go to executive session.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're gonna go to executive session. It's only gonna be a few minutes, but we're gonna stay here, so nice seeing you all, and thanks for showing